So, hello everyone, welcome to my review of Little Witch Academia episode 15. Probably the best episode so far, no, but a really good episode, each 10 out of 10. I mean, it's a very action-packed episode though, right? It's a little different than other episode, not as funny as more episode, but a lot of action and a lot of like, actually explaining some of the storyline, explaining some of the characters, right? Some of the background of the world, and to the motivation of pretty much Croy and Shiny Chariot. Akko knows stuff and so on, so Diana knows stuff and so on. So very like, this episode definitely gives a lot of story, right? And the best action so far in the anime. So a really good episode. The only real issue with the episode was, I think, some of the flashbacks. Well, I really love the flashback with kid Akko. He's really young. He's like 5 or 6 something. That was great and funny and a little sad. It's like cringe, sad, fun, right? And all the way weird at the same time. The order, well, but that was new. Right? That was an actual new flashback, right? That we saw with Croy. But the other flashback when she's talking to Ursula, that was definitely the only minus in the episode, because there's like flashbacking of stuff we've seen, like just with the ghost, for example. That was like what 2-3 episodes ago. That's a very unnecessary flashback for you. Like this happened 2 episodes back. Yeah, I remember that. I remember all of it, but I definitely remember that. It happened just like last week, pretty much. Right? That's very unnecessary. Unfortunately, right? So they can't do that for a bit there. It's probably 1 or 2 minutes there with just flashbacks of stuff we have seen quite recently. I felt that the first episode, I suppose, but that had been flashback earlier as well. Things that the flashback that part when they get to road, right? They choose that with the arrow. That flashback earlier as well. So yeah, that's the only flaw of the episode, I think. And that's something, if it was a manga, right? So it's pretty anime, we should make it better. But if it wasn't a manga, they usually can't spend that much time like in the manga on flashbacks. So there will need to be more story, right, of the remaining minutes or pages than in a manga. But anyway, that's the only bad part of it. All about really good. First of all, there are definitely stuff you can break down here and talk about the different kind of parts of it. I think the one part I find very interesting is actually the whole Diana stick, because Diana is definitely, this episode shows that she's gonna be an ally, right? We see it in the opening and so on, but she's definitely gonna be an ally of Akko, and my prediction is that she is gonna be, she is going to be the person that's going to decipher and understand how to, do the last word, right? That's going to be very important in the upcoming thing, right? Because Chariot doesn't know the last word. Diana has probably learned this whole thing now by herself, right? And so on. So that's very interesting. That's my first thing I want to mention about that. But also, I also felt that it was interesting there, because Diana, she is against Croy. She is like, I don't know, use shitty tech magic. I'm gonna use magic, right? Because she likes Chariot, right? And then we see this part where Ursula both research stuff in the library. She's like, oh, Diana. Oh. And she's like, do you know Sensei Croy? And she's like, no, I'm just this ordinary witch. I'm just this really bad witch. Goodbye, sweetie. That's interesting. So Diana is probably gonna figure out that Ursula is by herself, right? But also seeing that they have some kind of relationship there now. They're kind of allied themselves against Croy, right? On the side there, she's researching Croy in the yearbook and so on. And it ended by her saying like, wait, Ursula isn't in the yearbook. She didn't say that, but she was like, which Ursula in the yearbook? That was kind of like implication there. She mentioned that she was trying to find Ursula in the yearbook, right? And I was like, So that's very interesting. And of course, in the end of the episode, we see Diana reading books that she got from the library that she needed a special key for, or that she has pretty much, right, from the principal. That probably tells her the whole story that Ursula was telling Akko. So she knows something Akko probably, right? And probably will help Akko from that alone, right? So that is very interesting. I think, again, then she will probably be the one that decipher the last word. That's my prediction. I'm pretty sure on it. Maybe I'll make a separate theory about that. So we say I'm right. I'm gonna be right about this, guys. I'm gonna be right about this. I'm sure. Anyway, that's a good part, I think. See the old Diana be there. And then of course we see that Croy's after the shiny or whatever is after this kind of extracted magic. She wants probably to unlock the thing to get the whole magic to Layla to get her power, right? And she basically tricks Akko, right, to go to her lair, and it's a definite evil lair. Yes, go to my, I'm not here, Akko-chan, come later to my hidden tower with weapons and stuff. then we can just talk about Shiny Chariot, which I also like. I was like, yeah, okay, she's tricking you a lot, Akko. Yes, I don't know, it's like, do I like it or not? In one way, Akko's a little too stupid, right? She's a little too naive. That's of course Akko's huge charm. He's very simpleton and very naive and so on. But the thing is, the difference between being a simpleton and being just kind of really is a trick, right? And Aqua felt this episode was probably the stupidest she'd ever been, right? But only in a stupid way, too, not in a funny way. Usually she's stupid and fun stuff happens with it. Here we see her drawback of being stupid, and bad stuff happens to her, right? Ursa's like, oh, she's in danger. It's like, yes, she understands that Aku can't handle this shit. Because, first of all, it's kind of like, yes, go to my place over there. That has to be good. That's kind of like, okay, I can see you have some, the no problem, a nice thing there. And then she goes there and it's like, this kind of super slow opening door, dark, tower, a lot of weapons, a lot of like statue with weapons. It's like, looks very suspicious. Then it opens a door and it's like this gigantic place with these like mech things. And you see this background thing that I really pictured on. You see this kind of sapping, draining machinery illustration on her like graphs, right? It like steals the magic. You can see it right here. It's like, interesting. They'll be like, oh shit. If I enter that door, I'll be like, oh snap. This doesn't look good. I'll be like, oh no. This person is evil. And he stands there with her, she's back and like, yes, welcome. It's like, come on. She's so evil, Aku. She's like she's a classic, very, very classic, like evil in any old, 80 cartoons, or like the classic evil of like Ganondorf, Bowser evil, right? They kind of just, I am evil because I'm evil kind of character so far. Probably will have a flashback that makes her somewhat redeemable, I think. Croix probably has some. It probably has a flashback that makes it a little better redeemable. But this episode is like, yes, enter my lair, you will. I was like, okay, she is evil. She's so evil. She's like, yes. Then she kind of made her sleep with some kind of magic phone attack there, and then she was like draining her memories with this flower. It was like, okay, this is not a very nice sensei. Yeah, she's molesting her her students there. Not a very nice sensei. But yeah, it's like, well, what can you say? I mean, that fit Akku's a little too super. I mean, yeah, okay, it makes sense that it's Akku, which has always been like that, so it makes sense, I suppose. And then you have the other character, the whole that kind of stick, right? And also in the end, I think it's very interesting though, because Croy is definitely going for the whole thing, when she's Croy, whatever she does. It's like, after Shine Shell gets in there, she's like, you're not that weak. I thought you were going to be much weaker, whatever. Yeah, you can take the girl. I am friends with her. And you told to stop me. That's like classic. She's going the classic, super classic evil, right? From like, some whatever children 80s or, classic like video game evils. Like, yes, I am so strong. Here's my plan. You cannot stop me anyway. Here, you can escape that door. Come back next week, try to fight me. That's like, she is going a little too evil. Right? And I have to say, I don't like that. I really don't like that. It kind of works, I guess, because it kind of literature is kind of funny more than being kind of gruesome, really, really evil characters. And her being is kind of like arc evil office. Oh, I'm so evil. That I guess it makes more sense in this anime. So I don't hate it, but at the same time, I'm just writing this thing about like realistic villains. And what I mean that is villains that make sense, not that the power them, but that they make sense how to act with them. And she is like, wouldn't she just kill them instead, or like maybe kill Ursula, or I don't know, prison her, rid of a man, like do something. It's like, take the girl, whatever. Like that is like, God, she's overconfident. Like that this is never been made in real sense, right? So for me, that kind of Croy, kind of thought it's a villain in that part, right, for me, because it's just so ridiculous. A villain being like that, but in one way, it's like, yeah, it makes sense in this anime that they're all kind of like very stereotypical, very polarized, very to the extreme, right? She's like extremely overconfident because she's gifted and so on. Where Ursula was, a shitty whatever kid, so obviously she's more like, yeah, I have to fight and so on. So it makes sense. It makes sense, but I don't know if that's the road I would go with it. Hopefully, she's gonna have some other motivation for that, why she left them leave and so on in the end. Maybe she needs to actually open up the door of the seal so she actually can use to take the power of the tree or something. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Hopefully it's going to be something like that. While she's just doing this classic like super thing like, well, here's only level 1 anyway, so I can let the hero live. She's so weak anyway. Like, whatever. I'm level 1000. The next person, oh, she's doing 10,000 now, how the hell happened? Like, yeah, that's kind of classic evil, right? Hopefully they will explain it, that she will actually be like, I need them to be alive so I can actually use them. Because she could figure out how to channel herself, and no, she didn't touch the road herself. She didn't touch the road by herself. So she probably, like, okay, she can't use it. Right? She probably needs this aqua life to whatever, right, to get that thing going for her. So that's probably it. I think she will be kind of redeeming that pass as well. And I think they probably will do a flashback more on Croy and give her a more like a redeemable quality, like why is she evil and so on. Or she's pure evil. We will see. But anyway, that's just the Croy part. And then the core have the best part. That's part of Shining Chariots. Really, really fantastic action. And I loved all the scenes, you know. Suddenly, Shining Chariots going really badass. It's like, I watched his arrows and she's like, okay, it's on, bitch. But we see, I love that scene. You see, first looking at her monitors, right? His monitor, right? And we see this scene when Shining Chariots like really, really pissed off. It's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then we see the next scene where she's like, avoiding the arrow, take that, throw it off, like throws it down to the ground, and be like, yes, let's go, bitch. And then Persist attacks her, right? She beats them up, like kicks the giant statue away, gets his sword, cuts through the lion, or that's the manticore, yeah. And all of that was really, really awesome. I loved all the scenes there with Miss Sunshine. Easily the best action anime so far, easily. And it was so good, both the choreography, right, of the scenes, how she was running, like she was boosting her legs to kind of manage, so she can run on, you know, it's kind of like Naruto giving her chakra to her legs, so she can run on the walls, and how she using the weapon, avoid stuff, but especially all the glares, all the damn glares, Shining Chariot, everything, she's like, and all of this, like really, really pissed off glares, really made it so good. And then she flies into Croy, right, so looking at it like, give me Aku back, it's my girl. That was so awesome. Every part here was fantastic, right? Every part was fantastic, especially all the really angry looks for Shining Chariot. Yes, my daughter, some kind of that, right? It's my student, my pupil, my you know, inherent whatever. However she sees Aku, it's like a sort of a daughter, right? And she's like, give me back my girl. And he's like, you can take her. I am finished. And it's the classic evil, but I'm already done with her. But yeah, that episode was 4. And actually, one thing I want to mention in the last part though, that I found interesting too, is that even more they gave your relationship to Aku and Shining Chariot, right? Because they were talking about, she was asking the older teacher, the teacher that is actually against Troy, the brown and their name, maybe say the name ever in the anime, that it actually is against Croy, right? And she is like, I can't believe she went into this techno magic. She was our greatest student. And so yeah, she's pissed off at her, right? Because she feels she failed them, right? And go into this magic stuff. And I love the part when Aku's like, what, Croy? Are the Shining Chariot rivals? And they're like, no, not for a second. But, well, no, Croy was a genius student. And Shad was horrible. She had horrible grades, yeah. So they weren't rivals because no one recognized. Shining Chariot was like, no, she sucked. She was our worst student. She was only impulsive and lively. Then she did into this entertaining magic. She sucks. So they weren't actual rivals. Obviously they were rivals though, right? But the teachers, the older senses, they were like, they didn't even see the rivalry between Croy and Ursula. And Shining Chariot, because they probably know that she's at least the principal knows she's Shadan. They probably don't even see their like animosity, right? Because they're like, no, she was so bad. They didn't even touch each other. They didn't know each other. She was useless. And we recall kind of mirrors Diana and Aku, right? But Diana is good instead of Croy. Yeah. And again, also kind of puts on the whole team with Diana and Ursula, which is like, do you know Croy? No, I was just a useless student, I don't know her. Try to pretend to be that, of course. And it feels like Croy is probably the interesting enough, because classic rivalry and also between good and evil, that Croy is probably one of the few persons, right, that actually do respect Shining Chariot, right? To some degree. Like, okay, you were good 10 years ago, now you're pretty crappy, but okay, so he's probably one of the only few people actually do kind of respect her, right? But the rest of it is like, oh, she sucks. So that's a good part, and definitely makes her look like Aku again, right? And of course, also, that's what I'll probably say, is that the whole Shiny Road thing is just it definitely is the whole like, it's the willpower. You can just believe what you want, you know. It's like believe and have emotions, and then you can fight anyone. So it's bad for people like Troy, right? Because she's intelligent and calm, and like Diana could through the road because they have willpower but don't have the kind of, you know, impulsive emotion, right? So you need to be like Akko, being like, yeah, I want to be the best. You need to be the classic, the classic shonen hero. Then you can use this robe because you're like, what will I be? You know, I will fight. Yeah, that is what you need to be. So anyway, really good episode, especially the action parts. Fantastic. Every glare of of Shanshire, that was so good. And yeah, like a lot of story. We see Ida still thing. It's a great chapter overall. Yeah, only the block I said early in the beginning was the flashback thing there. Gonna reuse flashback again for like the 4th time or something. That was a little mistake. Yeah. Anyway, see you next week and have a great day.